Ladies and gentlemen, overview. Of course, this is me actually Waine, HassanZ. Of course, this is how get plugged into the world, and then this is international business schools. Of course, the mug. Of course, this is Boston. This is Shanghai, London, Dubai. Then you name it, St. Paulo. Of course, New York, and okay. So this is overview. Of course, this is just we are just scanning what we call too basic, and we are tackling these other because these others, of course, relate to also educations. That's why we are tackling those for those reasons. If we are in the school or no. So this is what they call census. Okay. Census infos. Of course, these are the papers they mail, and then with this information, you have to ensure yes you go online to the statistic, and then to oversee the case furtherly with the computers, and then of course they, as they said, use the code and then to proceed from your computers, right? So that is why is a census, a 2021 census, which they sent to count people in their homes. Okay, so as you know, people work me a lot, so my name escape away from the resident, and then here they because the homeowners want his home, and then they also want my home, and then that's why we are rivaling. That's why they put here they don't know me in this home. That's why they send the address only, and then I have to identify till I put those information, those codes which they sent there to the computer, and then I add my name to the address, and then that's when they will leave me free other than going to jail, otherwise I will end in jail if I cannot do so. And then that is basically for the statistical base. Now let's go and look further. If we look here, of course, this is the statistic Canada infos and base statistical orders. Of course, the order is from 1. The question is from level 1 to 100%. And then you can see there, and then this is the first, this is not the first question, this is the question number 19, the where we just scratch it. So you can read there, and then you can confirm it by yourself, as they said, where was this person born. So I said I was born in Sudan, East African Canadian. Of course, that's the regards, right? So of course, if we go to the next questions, the statistic also said socio-cultural information of you. Where were these patient parent really born? If that is a particularly socio-parental orders. Of course, we talk of Sudanese, East African Canadians, right? So that is the area. So and then. So if we go to another questions, of course, the question is there, is this person, of course, a Canadian citizen? Yes, we say they are Canadian immigrant and citizenships. Of course, is this person the citizens of a country other than Canada? Yes, they are Sudanese, Ugandan, East African, Ugandan, Kenyan, Canadian. Of course, that's regards down there, and that because of the areas we are covering, that is the East African country. So socio-cultural orientations to language, of course, I speak typically Madi, Arabic, English, and then of course, if actually my parents also do speak actually, and then and others. So if we talk of this one, if this is specifically the origins of the Sudanese Madi Bari law, of course, we say so there, and then particularly if they are of these origins, yes, we say so there. Of course, basically, and then we tackle today, we are still here with the same question, if we are really registered and Indian status, yes, of course. And then there's the Sudanese, East African, Canadian from Kenya, so that's why is regards. So, and then the history itself will tell you, of course, we cannot hide anything. And then does is two statisticals. And then here we put the Stone Finance Bank as this bank, and my name Waine HassanZ is returned there for that purposes. Yes, a registered member of the Marty's organizations or settlement, of course, yes. That is basically Sudanese from Kenyan, Canadian, East African to Ugandan, all of the above, Canadian to Marty's. So of course that is the regards of the trace of the cultural originations which we are actually in. That's the socio-cultural information of us. So based in with that, of course, you can see clearly Sudanese, Kenyan, East African, Canadian. Of course, there's these bank mortgages, of course, of course, we do, yes, for this one, land claim, we do claim land, but on condition of if the lockdown is abnormal, that is when the lockdown sold the land to us, and then of course we feel accountable, and then we as this bank, and we feel we have the future. Of course, we agree, yeah, we can hold the land for this culture, and then for these socio-cultural informations which has been provided above there. If they feel these people they were mistreated, they feel they can fleet these people away from Canada, and then we, the Eastern Finance Bank, we say, yeah, we can't. Of course, what is our religious status? Of course, we are Sudanese, East African, Canadian, Christians and Islams. That is the regards down there which we are totally talking about, and then which we emphasize above, of course. Particularly of the 1 years ago, of course, I was in the same address which is here, of course, where I'm speaking even today. And then of course that is that, and then yeah, that is basically in the same criteria 2010 to 2021. Of course, that is 11 years to do with the same address, of course. So in regards, of course, the education which we describe, and the education is very essential. That's why we show you first education mark there, which contained my coffee, and then we show you, because education is everywhere. If it comes to census, they will ask also your education. What is your educations? So that is why they asked us, and then yeah, we were able to answer yes, 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 because of the education. Yeah, we need educations, and education is important. That's why we answer yes for the reasons. So yes, if has this person ever, of course, registered within the trade school? Yes, of course, they were, and we were registered in trade schools. That's why we show you the cafe mark. I said I'm a computerized accountant, a payroll administrative, CPA, CGA, CMA, a Microsoft A+, and Academy of Learning. Of course, that is a regards and business career college, of course, as a regards down there. Of course, completed universities, yes, of course, that's why the questions were answered. If it comes to medical diplomacies, no. Doctorate, no. Of course, that is a regards down there. Of course, based on the education. So, if education, of course, that is educations, computerized accounting and payroll administrative, of course, you can see there, business career college, of course, offered all those criteria for us in the field of education. So that's why we feel accountable for that purposes, for that reasons. So you can see the province, the territories, of course, issued those orders. They said, yeah, of course, that is in Ontario, yes, and then of course we answer so. So in the regards of the education, is still in the education field. We're still in the education field, and then those the areas. Of course, we also answer yes down there. No, because not attending school at any time since September 2020. Not attending school, so we answer there. So, and then in the labor market activities, of course, yeah, what is the rate of your hourly rates? Hourly rates. There, of course, we are working 60 hours per week. Then there are 53 weeks for us because of the overtimes. We are counting 53 weeks because of the overtimes. If there is overtime, you're working with the overtimes. You don't count the week a year 52. If you count the year 52 a year, with the payroll administration, you are really failing. So you have to make sure it's a 53 because there is overtimes, which you are telling the people down there. That's for sure. Is regards for that purposes. So let's say that is basically market, and then the market, okay, market activities, and then on the so-called, of course, that is the theme I'm working in, and then the theme I'm managing in, and then the theme I'm working in, of course, that is based to that. Okay, what was different? Of course, work or occupations. What are my work and occupation? This bank branch management, this is down there. The other can tell you, of course, this bank retail management, financial real estates and mortgages. Of course, that is overview and the due criteria for that purposes. And then if you hold there many activities of us in our work and what were they, so we talk of that there. And then also here we said, yeah, that is permanent position, no fixed end date, and then we are permanently employed as the Stone Finance Bank. That is our management there. So that is why is a criteria. So labor market is still continue there. The question is there also. And then of course it tackle also our kind of language that we are speaking at home and then at work, and then of course English is priority, and then our other language follows. So labor market again there. So that is basically labor market. Of course, the language we are using, of course, the Sudanese, East African, the Canadian, English, Arabic, and Madi. Of course, we say so there. Of course, based on the at what address do this company really work most the time. So we write here, this is the address we're gonna be constructing. This is the address we're gonna be working on. So I live at this address, and then this is the address, my home address. So, but this is the address we are going to be constructing and then working on. So that's why it's provided there, because they want us to work from where? From my workplace, not at home. That's why we provided an address there for that purposes. So and then this is of course the criteria for transportations. They were asking what kind of commute do we normally use to get to work. So personal car as a driver. So that is the regards the main points and other activities as well. And then on overview to occasions, of course you can see there. And then we hit there, of course, that is the same back question, which is asking, of course, a car, truck, and van as a driver to get to work. So that is the criteria when it comes to labor. Of course, government labors, of course, that is 3 people or more using the same cars to get to work. That is what I say so. And then of course we are beginning almost 8 a.m. in the morning, and then normally we are working condition. The number of minutes to begin a job is 72 minutes. before we go to work, 9 to 5 p.m. So that is the 8 to 9 a.m. we are ready to be to work. So we are beginning, normally 8 is in the one that they don't count, but normally they count 9 to 5 as normally work down there. So for that purposes, and then the hours of weeks, that is 52. So we live there, and as they authorize up here, they say you should punch a 52, not 53, but they really is 53 weeks yearly plus overtime, which is that one there, because here they know the overtime is pay separate, and then they will ask for the overtimes on the other occasions. That's why it's a different thing. So their aim is this: when you are working 30 hours, so they want to take 30 hours away and then divide it as 60 hours which you are earning. They take 30 hours away and then you earn 30. So that is why the guy want to field a boss and then want to field the boss of the slaves, and then the earning the higher rates of the overtimes you are having, and then they chop you with the days 30 hours. You make the 60 hours sitting or whatever at his rental homes. You sit there, you sit as a worker, so they count you as a work. So that's why if it come to this one, expenditures for child, of course we said 90 million, which has been granted to the child, of course there. And then but the expenditures, yes, of course, that is the dwelling cases. If it come to rental, it come to owning the homes, of course. If you really own the homes, and then or you are renting the homes, and then what are the criteria, and then what are the things, of course, down there. They ask, of course, they want to know the number of different bedroom you're having in your home. If it's one, you say one. If it's this one, you say this one. Because as I said here, I moved in 2010. So for me, this home is new because I was here 2010 to 2021, right? So if I said I mark this home was built this year, before this year, and then I will be wrong, right? So I have to mark which one, 2010, as a brand new form for me to be in, right? So that's why we say so down there. So for that dilemma and for that criticism, so to end it short and then to get no weaknesses around down there. So that's why no dilemma, no nothing. So they also cook their mind, the questionnaires, people, they cook their mind a lot. For them to come with such kind of solutions and outcomes. Of course, this is the last question today. That is already, it hit that much there and there. That is the last comment we were left to submit, and then we also submit the video of our YouTube and then the comment, and then we put it alongside down there for the questionnaires. And then this is the after we submit the order. Of course, the orders goes as a confirmation code. This is our confirmation code, which is down there, or to confirm that we completed the questionnaire. So for us to get no other confusion from the weak seekers, the weak seekers will seek the weakness from us. So I'm the one there, Waine HassanZ, as is it on the survey, on the government portional question area for the census, which they are counting, and that's my net worths down there, and my concrete also work related task which I'm doing per daily, and then the region I come from is also there marked. This is as we were saying, Sudan to the East African countries, so to Canadian countries. So that is why we say so there, and then for that purposes, so the rate here, the rate there, you're gonna the black, if the black is the one altering, even God is there, and then the whole ghost fire, as Nigerian says, they will die. Of course, that is overview to overview, and then to our company logos, and then what we do, and then of course that is basically to just scan and then to get what we are really at. Okay, so if we scroll here, even you can see the same order down there, and then to wherever the possibilities are, and then those are the questions, the question 1, question 2, of course, as we said, and then the videos of the towards the comment line, of course, is a Canadian can tell them that I live in Canada, and I also personally work, and I also personally earn money, and I personally also do the shopping, and then we submit that question for that purpose, and then you can see there we have our company logos, our company names, and then the regions I come from, and then can tell you, of course, as is documented there also, so that it won't give them additional a challenge, and then so that the questionnaire people also feel very important and very honorable for their addition, for their secable orders which they need from the refugees status in Canada. So if it come to that, that's the minutes we have for this event. Of course, for this questionnaire event, of course, I was tied down for that purpose and for that reasons, and then of course, muchly, that is me, of course, Waine HassanZ with this scratch, and then this is my workplace, and then what I do for living. Basically can tell you, and then on regards and overview, of course, that is basically those orders which we have, as we said, and then that is the questionnaire code, of course, which we have there to complete that surveys, and then this is the envelope we want. Of course, they drop it to each of the Canadian mailbox for them to complete, and then this is because to avoid also lockdown, to filter that you are in Canada, and then you are treated as you according to your status, and then according to what you are doing in this country. That's why we are always, when it comes to such kind of orders, we do them first. If it comes to filing tax, also we have filing tax orders which we already submitted to the government. Also, we did it the way we did this papers work, and then all orders matches from what we are really doing for particularly. If you still have question, we will be back even face to face right now, and then we will be extending these orders into further, because we have the minutes down there for conference, the minute down there for meeting, and then the minute there to at least to get what we've been facing outside yesterday, and then how we were bombastically pushed out with our food, other than eating in if we choose to eat in. So that's why we have those dilemmas before we can make further appointment to go and open more doors. That's why easy regards, and that's why we are Waine Hassan, and then for this purpose and for that regards.